Tonight on CTV3 News, government employee is accused of embezzling over $15,000 in water infrastructure fund. The accused, Nemencio Acosta from Corozal, is said to have collected monies from the chairman of Crooked Tree under the pretense of purchasing water meters for the village. Little did the chairman know that the meters had been donated to the Ministry of Infrastructure. In the area of health and wellness, the ministry is confirming 2 cases of tuberculosis. The patients are students from Belize City. In news affecting consumers, water bills set to rise following PUC approval of rate hike. And Belize joins global fight against preventable vision loss with 2 Specs 2030 initiative. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Tuesday, February 15th, 2026.
From whiskeys and wines to elegantly crafted cocktails. Paired with charcuterie boards and perfectly seasoned steak bites, and much more. Perfect for celebrations, quiet nights, and every special occasion in between. 7 Notes Wine and Spirits, where every sip hits the right note.
ExpressNet now has up to 400 megabytes of high-speed internet. Choose the speed that fits you. From faster browsing to faster gaming. Connect more devices at once. Or bundle it with Express Plus and HBO Max. Internet and streaming entertainment, all in one.
Yeah, faster starts here.
Sign up today at any Centaur office or contact us to get started.
They got so much things to say right now. They got so much things to say.
The way some people are talking you'd never know, but the most blatant nepotism and fleecing of BTL took place under UDP when Dean Barrow was Prime Minister. Barrow placed his son Anwar on BTL's board in 2009 as soon as he nationalized the company, which would eventually cost Belizeans almost $650 million for shares barely worth $200 million. By 2014, Anwar was appointed executive chairman with extravagant salary and perks. Under him, BTL spent wildly on ventures that did not materialize and never brought any returns. Under the Barrows, BTL's profits plummeted from $38 million in 2009 to $17 million in 2019, and $10 million in 2020, as the company hardly paid dividends to government and people of Belize. Anwar Barrow has no moral authority to talk about BTL, as it was under his nepotistic rule, appointed by his father, that BTL was most blatantly fleeced.
They got so much things to say right now. They got so much things to say.
We recently formed MOUs with the American Hotel and Lodging Education Institute, which is the education arm of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, and also with the American Culinary Federation to do culinary training. We're here to celebrate our accomplishments. And this is not about replacing Belizean cuisine. This is about, we want the Belizean cuisine, we want the Belizean richness and diversity. Right? So this is about your skills. You all know what you all learned, so it's about transferring that skill.
We want to inspire this career because, you know, it's amazing. You love what you do, right? And it really is something that I think we can inspire other young Belizeans to undertake. And it's now part of your responsibility as those who have received this training and see a pathway for greater things.
Just to put it into perspective, there's only about 6,000 certified executive chefs in North America. There is only 69 certified master chefs in the world. There is less than 10 certified executive pastry chefs in this entire world. And now in Belize, we have 3 sitting in this room.
The Orange Walk Town Council is inviting applications from suitably qualified and motivated individuals to fill 5 garbage fee collector positions within our revenue department. Minimum requirements: high school diploma, friendly and people-oriented personality, tech-savvy, must own reliable transportation, preferably a motorcycle, honest and dependable. Interested applicants are asked to submit the following documents: application letter, copy of high school diploma, valid social security card, 2 character references. Applications must be submitted in person to the Orange Walk Town Council office by February 20th, 2026. Join our team and contribute to keeping Orange Walk clean and organized.
Good evening with your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. A government employee has been formally accused of embezzling funds intended for water infrastructure in Crooked Tree. Nemencio Acosta Forti, a resident of Corozal Town and an employee of the Ministry of Rural Transformation, faces charges of stealing $15,315.50 belonging to the Crooked Tree Water Board. Acosta made his initial court appearance yesterday afternoon before Senior Magistrate Manon Dennison, where he was charged with theft. He did not enter a plea at this stage and was granted bail set at $5,000 with the requirement to provide a surety. The accused was also ordered to report weekly to the Corozal police station and is restricted from leaving Belize without official permission. The allegations stem from a complaint filed by Paul Eck, the chairman of Crooked Tree. According to Eck, in 2022, Acosta collected funds from him under the pretense of purchasing water meters for the village from private entities. Acosta subsequently delivered 45 meters, which were later revealed to be donations to the ministry rather than purchases made from private sources as initially claimed. The discrepancy led to the discovery of the missing funds. Police investigations uncovered that the 2 checks issued for the purchase of the meters did not correspond to actual payments, and receipts for the transactions were never produced. It was ultimately confirmed that the meters were donated and not bought with the funds provided. Acosta's case is scheduled to proceed to the Belize High Court and is expected to return to court on April 17th for further proceedings. As we told you yesterday, the Ministry of Health and Wellness has confirmed the 2 imported malaria cases in Creeksarco Village, Toledo District. These cases, contracted outside Belize, underscore ongoing regional health risks and the importance of vigilance among travelers. Although the infections originated elsewhere, they serve a reminder of the persistent threat of malaria in neighboring countries and the potential for reintroduction into Belize. Hence the reason why the travelers to rural, forested, or border regions are urged to take precautions against mosquito bites, as malaria symptoms, including fever, chills, headaches, body aches, sweating, fatigue, and nausea, typically appear 7 to 30 days after exposure.
Village. These persons had traveled over to Guatemala within the time frame and started with symptoms in the mid-January, and they were recently diagnosed. So these cases are defined as imported cases, which means that they had become infected outside of Belize. Even though it's imported, that we define them as imported cases, it's also important to note that we need to ensure that there's no transmission, no local transmission in country. So we still give the education aspects. We try to ensure that persons utilize what is needed, the repellent, the keeping the home screen, staying indoors, etc. And we also do enhanced surveillance. So we go to the villages and the surrounding villages. We test everyone. We look for persons with fever. We look for persons with joint pains and other signs and symptoms of malaria, and we do our testing. In Belize, with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, we're able to readily test for dengue, malaria, CHIKV, Zika, And so these are vector-borne illnesses that may present with very similar symptoms. So we are encouraging the public that if you do have any of these symptoms, just come to any of our facilities and you can be easily tested.
Did they go to a health facility?
Yes, they were. Well, we do have our community health workers on the ground. We have about 300 community health workers, and these persons are our eyes and ears in our community. So especially in rural areas, they go house to house, they do health education, and they try to pick up anyone who's sick, or they do preventative messages as well. They do screening. So that is how these persons were picked up, through the community health workers who did the test and found that the test was positive, and then they were then taken to the health facility.
The ministry emphasizes the availability of free testing and treatment at all public health facilities and encourages individuals experiencing symptoms to seek immediate medical attention and disclose recent travel history. Community health workers and malaria volunteers continue active outreach efforts to support prevention. Belize remains officially malaria-free, a status confirmed by the World Health Organization in June 2023. The government maintains rigorous surveillance and response strategies to prevent the re-establishment of local transmission. Additionally, Belize's health system is prepared for regional health threats, including chikungunya and Zika viruses circulating in South America and Cuba. Laboratory capabilities for testing these diseases are in place, and since 2016, there has been no local transmission of chikungunya nor Zika transmission since 2017. The ministry urges all Belizeans to practice mosquito bite prevention measures and cooperate with health authorities to protect the country's public health and preserve its malaria-free status. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has announced the detection of a tuberculosis case involving a 16-year-old female student at Edward P. York High School. The diagnosis was verified through clinical evaluation and laboratory testing conducted earlier today. The student has been promptly started on appropriate anti-tuberculosis treatment and is currently responding well to the therapy. In addition, a household member, a 10-year-old student attending Ephesus Primary School, presented with non-specific symptoms and was evaluated at the Carl Houston Memorial Hospital. Based on clinical assessment, the child was diagnosed with TB and has also begun treatment. Upon confirmation of these cases, the MOHW immediately notified the relevant schools and has activated standard public health protocols. Contact tracing efforts are now in progress to identify individuals who may have been in close contact with the affected students. These contacts are being assessed through screening and follow-up measures in line with national TB guidelines. Tuberculosis is a bacterial infection primarily affecting the lungs, transmitted through the air when an individual with active pulmonary TB coughs, speaks, or sneezes. Prolonged close contact with an infectious person increases the risk of transmission. Common symptoms of TB include persistent cough lasting more than 2 weeks, unintentional weight loss, night sweats, fever, fatigue, and weakness. The public is reminded that other respiratory illnesses circulating in the country may present with similar symptoms. Anyone experiencing persistent or concerning symptoms is urged to seek medical evaluation promptly to facilitate early diagnosis and treatment. The Orange Walk Humane Society, in partnering with the Belize Agricultural Health Authority, BAHA, and OYIRSA, is to host an urgent screwworm clinic in Orange Walk this coming weekend, as concerns grow over suspected cases of New World screwworm infections in pets. According to organizers, there has been an increase in reports of pets, particularly dogs and to a lesser extent cats, suffering from open wounds that may be infected with the New World screwworm, a dangerous flesh-eating parasite. Within as little as 2 days, screwworm larvae can cause severe and devastating tissue damage if left untreated. Officials stress that this is not just an animal health issue, it is community health concern. The parasite can also infect humans through open wounds or cuts, making early detection and treatment critical.
So throughout Belize, we're having an increase in the cases of screwworms, which acts very swiftly, and it could potentially end with the death of your animal, right? Either by choice or by the animal itself eating. It's a flesh-eating worm, and it's laid by these flies. So with the increasing numbers, especially in Orange Walk, we teamed up with Orisa and Baja to have this clinic here at the BSI field. We're going to have tents and some tables and some chairs for you guys to come out. If you have questions, if you see an open wound and you'd like further assistance, further guidance, please come out. Orisa will have some vet techs there to see, give you guidance, give you medication, if anything, if they need some sealing of the wounds, because sometimes where the flies lay their eggs is on the flesh, the open wound, and sometimes they're getting a little bit creative and they don't even need that. Orisa explained that anywhere that is just open that has moist, these things attack warm-blooded animals. So horse, cat, dogs, cattle, anything that you can think of that's warm-blooded, they are attacking. And it acts very swiftly. In a matter of 48 hours, you could potentially be losing your pet, And so where they have been seeing an increase in numbers is in dogs in particular and cats, some cats. But it's with the pet owners. It's dogs, not even the stray dogs. It's the dogs that belong to people that they are seeing an increase in numbers. And that's why we saw it so alarming to reach out and help share the information. Us as the Orange Walk Humane Society, we got some messages, and those has also been increasing on advice, asking for advice. And we were coming at a point that we don't really know about it. We just say, go to the vet, go to the vet. But we're trying to educate so that people can access these services without costing them, because sometimes it's low resource families that can't access veterinary care easily. So this clinic is meant for you. If you have an animal that has an open wound, come out, show us. The vet techs will be there. If you have questions, if you have cattle or horses or anything, sheep, and you'd like further advice, come out. The vet techs will be there. We'll have flyers to see how the worm looks, how the fly looks, for you to be proactive.
Pet owners are being urged to bring in any animals suspected of having infected wounds for immediate checkups and treatment at no cost. The outreach is especially encouraging low-income families and those directly affected to take advantage of the opportunity. Expert technicians will be on site to examine animals, administer treatment where possible, and provide guidance on wound care and preventative measures to help stop further spread of the parasite.
It's beyond the point of preventing the animal being here. It's here. So now we need to stop the spread and make sure that we prevent our animals from being attacked. And what also was pointed out was that Baja and Orisa would spend hours sometimes taking out every single larva from these animals. And with the dogs that belong to people, they would spend 2-3 hours doing that. And within a week or two, they would be called back because the aftercare is missing. So that's what we also want to spread, that one, you need to be proactive with your animals. If don't be tying them wrong and it's causing a wound on their neck, that wound will be the perfect spot for these animals to lay their eggs. And then you're going to have 200-300 larvae there. And out of those, how many are female? When is this going to end, And so we're very grateful for the partnership that we've been able to get with Orisa, and they've been very willing to come out and help us spread the word. And I encourage any other, if you're in the area, you're in Orange Walk, you have questions, stop by the BSI field. We'll be right there answering questions from 8:30 to 1:30. If you do see worms in the wound, or you do see that you believe it's screwworm, come out, have your animal in a cage or somewhere secure. You come out of the car and you talk to us, and then have the vet techs will go to your car instead of taking out the animal. No, but if it's really visible, just to make sure we don't spread it anymore, we will have obviously extra precaution to make sure that if anything is to fall on the premises, we pick it up and we disregard properly of anything. But just extra precaution if you can actually see the wounds there.
For safety, residents are reminded to ensure that dogs are properly secured on a leash and muzzled if necessary, as well as to ensure that cats and small animals are transported in a secure box or crate. Coming up next, authorities confirm outbreak of tick fever in Cayo District cattle herds and urge immediate action to protect livestock. Stay tuned.
Registering the debt of a person is a crucial legal process done through the Civil Registry Department and Vital Statistics Unit, which allows you to obtain an official debt certificate. The new Civil Registry and Vital Statistics System, CRVS, makes it easy. Register online or visit an office countrywide. The debt registration process involves providing the necessary details about the deceased and the details of their debt. Register a debt promptly to avoid any delays or additional fees for late registration. Who can register a debt? Any person with an original medical certificate for the cause of debt, MCCD, issued by the medical facility certifying the debt. The new CRVS, digitally connecting citizens to all vital statistics services. Visit crvs.gov.bz to complete the debt registration process with ease and care.
There's a saying I often return to, and that is a Chinese saying, that says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Today, Belize chooses now because Belize has always lived under the shade of the tree. Remember Sobumbra floreo. Our forests, mangroves, rivers, and farms are not just features of our landscape, they are part of who we are as a people. They protect us from storms, feed our families, support livelihoods, and anchor our resilience in a changing climate. But we also know this truth. What we do not protect, we will eventually lose.
Greening Belize, 1 million trees for climate and sustainable development. Our forest cover is declining, especially after the fire season. What will be achieved? Restore and reforested lands, significant increase in hectares restored by 2035. Enhanced carbon sequestration. We'll have improved data, mapping, and reporting systems with this. Institutional readiness, feasibility study and design for a national forestry incentive program. Community mobilization, which will build capacity and increase participation nationally, and improve governance.
For all environmentally conscious individuals and groups, CBOs, NGOs, community organizations, universities, come in to do their part to plant trees to assist in the restoration initiative for the country of Belize.
Water users across Belize are preparing for an increase in their monthly bills after the Public Utilities Commission PUC approved a 13.5% hike to the mean water rate MWR for Belize Water Services Limited BWSL. The approved adjustment is notably lower than the 20% rate increase initially requested by the utility company during its recent rate review. The PUC estimates that this adjustment will result in an average increase of approximately 5.5% on individual water bills. In addition to the water increase, the PUC has introduced a new minimum charge for water consumption applicable to usage up to 600 gallons. This measure aims to ensure that even low-volume water users contribute to the costs associated with maintaining and operating water infrastructure in their communities. Under the new structure, residents outside Belize City and Belmopan will face a minimum water charge of $5.52. Meanwhile, residents within Belize City and Belmopan will pay a minimum of $6.63. For those in Key-Cocker, the minimum fee will be $14.85. And on Ambergris Key, the combined water and sewerage minimum will be $16.19. The PUC's final decision, announced on November 17, 2025, affirmed its initial ruling. The full details of the decision are accessible on the Commission's official website and its offices located at Marina Towers in the Newtown Barracks area of Belize City. In a significant move to address the global burden of vision impairment, Belize has officially joined the WHO SPECS 2030 initiative, a groundbreaking program launched in 2024 to reduce preventable blindness and improve access to corrective eyewear worldwide. The initiative is a collaborative effort led by the Ministry of Health and Wellness in partnership with the Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization, PAHO, the Belize City for the Visually Impaired BCVI, and the One Sight Essilor Luzatica Foundation. Vision problems remain a pervasive health issue across the globe, affecting over 2.2 billion people, according to the World Health Organization. Of these, a significant portion lacks access to proper eye care and corrective spectacles, which hampers their ability to learn, work, and fully participate in society. The WHO SPECS 2030 initiative aims to address this crisis by increasing the number of individuals who can afford and access the right spectacles by 40% in participating countries.
They're trying to ensure that persons who have a vision impairment or vision issues have readily accessible screening, cost-effective services in order for them to improve their sight. As I had mentioned in the opening remarks, there are about 2.2 billion persons who suffer worldwide with visual issues, and 1 billion of those persons have not had access to get testing and to get glasses to improve their vision. So this launch is just the beginning of the launch. We'll be working closely with BCVI because BCVI has offices in all of our facilities, and BCVI and the Ministry of Health and Wellness will work together to improve screening. So the places that we would like to ensure that people are screened, schools, for example, we do have many students who might not have been picked up or have never visited an ophthalmologist or an optometrist to determine whether or not they do need glasses for reading or for seeing the board. So the initiative is to help to correct refractive errors by utilizing glasses and to help to ensure that people have easy access to these services.
With Belize's integration into this international effort, local professionals and organizations will benefit from enhanced resources and support, ensuring that eye care services are more accessible and affordable for all Belizeans, regardless of income level or geographical location.
So we're looking at human resource development as a key component of SPECS's focus and as well as our focus. It's something that if you look throughout the country and you think about like, well, where can I go see an eye doctor? I can't see properly. What are my options? At BCVI, we have 5 clinics throughout the country, and those are equipped or staffed by an ophthalmic assistant and an optometrist. We want to be able to increase the reach that we have, so not just waiting for people to come to us, we want to be able to go out and do more. That involves working with schools, doing school screenings. It involves training community health workers and teachers and other health officers as well to be able to do basic visual acuities or assessments and refer people in for a proper eye exam, but also us going out and seeing people and doing full clinics out in communities as well.
The arrival of the WHO SPECS 2030 initiative signifies a renewed commitment to tackling preventable vision loss and promoting eye health as a fundamental component of overall well-being. As Belize joins this global movement, it underscores the nation's dedication to ensuring that quality care is right, not a privilege for every citizen. With the recent changes in the weather, Belize has experienced a recent uptick in influenza cases, according to Dr. Melissa Diaz-Musa, the Director of Public Health and Wellness. According to Diaz-Musa, in January, there was a surge in cases of H2N3, a specific subtype of the influenza virus currently circulating in certain parts of the United States and Canada as well.
Over in January, we saw an increase in H2N3, which is an influenza virus, and that's the subtype of the virus. That was the one that was spreading in the United States, in Canada, in different areas. And we are able to test at the Central Medical Lab again. We test for influenza A, influenza B, COVID, and many of the other viral infections. The recent report shows that it has become now stagnant, and hopefully we'll see a fall in this. We also, I want to take this opportunity to say that we also have the flu vaccine available at every health facility, private and public, and the pneumococcal vaccine that helps to prevent pneumonias and other diseases in children and adults. So I encourage you all to go out and get this as soon as possible.
Addressing routine immunizations, Dr. D.S. Musa noted a significant decline following the COVID-19 pandemic.
I think initially after COVID, not that I think, I know that we had a significant fall in our routine vaccination programs for most of our vaccines. Now we have recovered very nicely, and I'd like to say that, for example, the HPV vaccine, which is the human papillomavirus vaccine, and it prevents cervical cancer, for example. 90+% of cervical cancer is linked to HPV. Initially, post-COVID, we had fallen to about 38%, and our reports show that for 2025, we're at 76%, which is wonderful for us, and which really helps us to eventually get to the goal of the elimination of cervical cancer in our country.
Minister of Tourism and Youth Sports, Honorable Anthony Mahler, has indicated that his current term in office may be his last, as he is considering retirement from electoral politics. Mahler made the remarks while reflecting on his years in public service, noting that the political landscape has changed significantly compared to decades past. According to the minister, modern-day politics comes with increased scrutiny and pressure, particularly with the rise of social media and the fast-paced nature of public discourse. The minister emphasized that while he remains committed to fulfilling his current responsibilities, the emotional and mental demands of political life today are far greater than in previous eras. He noted that the pressures extend beyond policy debates and governance, often becoming deeply personal. Despite contemplating retirement, Mahler reaffirmed his dedication to completing his term and continuing the work of advanced tourism and youth development initiatives. He said any final decision about stepping away from politics will be made after careful reflection.
This takes a toll on you, you know. It does. It takes a toll on you. Before I came here, I saw about 75 people at my office, and the needs are getting great. Social media has created a different expectation on people, and so it takes a toll on you to try to find the resources to help everybody or to as many people as possible. So
you're saying politics has become more difficult.
It has. In fact, I spoke to somebody close to Right Honorable Said Musa, and he said when the Prime Minister was the Prime Minister then, that right now, if you look at it, 1 year is equivalent to 3 years for them. So by the end of this term, I would have done 30. So that's a long time.
Are you giving that serious thought to retire? Like, could this be your last term?
It could be. Wow. And I'm saying it to the nation. Yeah. Could be.
The Orange Walk Humane Society continues to intensify its efforts to tackle the growing stray animal population and combat animal cruelty in the Northern District. Since the start of the year, the organization has been working diligently to fulfill its mandate of reducing the number of stray dogs and cats across the community, while simultaneously educating Orangeokeños about responsible pet ownership and the importance of humane treatment of animals. Thus far, the group has successfully hosted 2 spay and neuter clinics, providing low-cost services to pet owners and helping to prevent unwanted litters. In addition to these clinics, members have rolled out education campaigns aimed at raising awareness about animal welfare laws, proper care for pets, and the consequences of neglect and abuse.
One of our main pillars is spaying and neutering, which is the absolute way to end overpopulation or the strays on the street. Because every animal, every dog and every cat, almost every 6 months, they will be having a litter if they are not caught. And the problem is not just with the strays that we have, is that the pet owners allow their animals to have more. They roam on the street, or they go throw them away, they go dispose them away, or they give them away to more irresponsible people. And we go from 3 animals on the street to 20 on the street very, very quickly. So spaying and neutering is one of our fundamental pillars that we work on. So we have a clinic every month. We were blessed in January to get an opportunity to work with FAVI, which is the Foundations of Veterinary. They come from Canada, and they did 161 surgeries in 3 days here in Orange Walk at a low cost of $35. That was amazing. We got outpouring support in the people signing up. We even had to refund some funds because we were overbooked. So that was really, really, we were inspired, and I think our efforts and our hope to continue this work got renewed. And then we continued. We had our regular spay and clinic, which is for $85 with Dr. Tun, for January, February, and we continue that onto March. Once we are able to financially afford it, we continue. We subsidize a portion of the cost, and that is why it's able to be at $85. If you can sponsor, that is always beneficial. If you have a stray on the street, please contact us, partner with us, sponsor that stray, and then you only have that one stray. You don't have 6, 7, 8. It climbs really quickly. So that's our primary focus.
Community engagement is also of crucial importance for the group, which believes that through continued education and active involvement, incidents of animal cruelty can be significantly reduced in Orange Walk.
The other one is trying to help people with low resources. Sometimes it's really difficult because all of us are working or have our own businesses, our own families, and this is all volunteer based. There is no, it's not a government office. It's not somewhere that we're there from 8 to 5 working. It's all after hours, and so it's really hard to reach out to the community and do home visits. We do try, but that's where we implore to the community to reach out. If you see a neighbor that doesn't give their dog water, doesn't give them food, reach out. Sometimes they just need awareness of the dog is thirsty. You'd be surprised of the people that don't know these things. So as a community, we need to hold each other accountable. And so that's our other pillar. And then education and basic pet care, which is where the screwworm comes into play. When there was rabies, we had our rabies-free vaccination and all of those awareness campaigns that we just try to help other organizations spread the word.
As a nonprofit, non-governmental organization, the Orange Walk Humane Society relies heavily on donations and its own fundraising activities to sustain its year-long campaigns. Without consistent financial support, the group says its work to rescue, rehabilitate, and advocate for animals would not be possible. To close off the month of love, the organization is inviting the public to take part in a creative fundraiser, a one-of-a-kind doorstep surprise or heart-melting serenade for someone special. The event is set for Saturday, February 28th, and promises to deliver smiles while supporting a worthy cause.
And then to fund all of these activities, we always need to be raising funds or through donations. So if you're a business, you're a person you'd like to donate to us, please send us a message. You can donate to our bank account, and we can even send you pictures of the animals getting these services. You're transparent and can send you that. When it comes to fundraisers, it's hard again because we have all our activities and our lives. But this, the 28th of February, we're having a Serenade Your Forever Love. And the group has put together an activity where you can, for $50, you can get a flower and a little cake, and you send it to your love. And we go sing live. We're always going to have more professional singers than I, but they will go sing a love song to your person. And it's to end off the month of love by just showing the special person, your friend, your mom, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever it is, a little bit of love, and also supporting a worthy cause.
Organizers say the initiative is a reminder that compassion extends beyond the people and into the care of animals in the community. And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Registering the debt of a person is a crucial legal process done through the Civil Registry Department and Vital Statistics Unit, which allows you to obtain an official debt certificate. The new Civil Registry and Vital Statistics System, CRVS, makes it easy. Register online or visit an office countrywide. The debt registration process involves providing the necessary details about the deceased and the details of their debt. Register a debt promptly to avoid any delays or additional fees for late registration. Who can register a debt? Any person with an original medical certificate for the cause of debt, MCCD, issued by the medical facility certifying the debt. The new CRVS, digitally connecting citizens to all vital statistics services. Visit crvs.gov.bz to complete the debt registration process with ease and care.
No matter how green the grass is over there, you belong here with us.
Welcome to the overworld.
Anything you can dream about here?
Two things are gonna come out about me. I can't live with it no more.
Put a track lock on itself. Who moves, I want to know.
On Friday, we reported on concerns raised by farmers in the West following sudden deaths in herds of cattle in the area. Following an intensive investigation, today the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and New Growth Industries, in collaboration with the Belize Agricultural Health Authority, BAHA, has confirmed the presence of anaplasmosis, commonly known as tick fever, in cattle within the El Pilar area of the Cayo district. Agriculture officials say they responded on several occasions to reports from farmers in the El Pilar community concerning cattle health abnormalities and mortalities. Farm investigations conducted on January 12, 2026 revealed clinical sites consistent with anemia, prompting suspicion of a tick-borne disease. Blood samples were collected and subsequently tested positive for anaplasmosis. On February 4, 2026, additional blood samples were taken from another registered cattle farmer in the same area. Laboratory results from Baja confirmed that all samples from this second herd were also positive for anaplasmosis. At the time of reporting, no mortalities had occurred within that herd. Authorities say the findings indicate active infection within El Pilar area and suggest a localized outbreak of the tick-borne disease affecting cattle. Authorities are strongly advising cattle farmers in the Cayo district and surrounding communities to immediately implement comprehensive tick management programs and to consult with extension officers or Baja veterinarians for appropriate treatment using approved medications. Farmers are also urged to closely monitor their herds for early clinical signs such as anemia, weakness, weight loss, and reduced productivity, and to follow all guidance provided by the Extension Service and Baja. Farmers experiencing unusual cattle illness or mortality are encouraged to contact MEFSC offices or Baja offices countrywide for assistance. Authorities emphasize that early detection and prompt treatment are critical to containing the spread of the disease and minimizing losses within the livestock sector. In an effort to bolster the country's resilience against natural and technological hazards, Honorable Henry Charles Usher, Minister of the Public Service and Disaster Risk Management, led a high-level meeting on February 12, 2026, with key United Nations officials. The gathering included Saskia Carusi, Deputy Chief of the UN Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, Regional Office for the Americas and the Caribbean, and Raul Salazar, the UN Resident Coordinator for Belize and El Salvador. The discussion centered on advancing Belize's comprehensive disaster management CDM program and strengthening collaboration between the Belizean government and the UN system in areas such as disaster risk governance, emerging threats, and sustainable development. Our primary focus was on enhancing Belize's disaster risk reduction DRR coordination mechanisms and policies, with particular attention to new challenges like cybersecurity and technological vulnerabilities. Participants revisited progress on Belize's multi-hazard early warning systems under the EW4AII initiative, emphasizing the importance of inclusive and accessible alerts for at-risk populations. The talks also explored strategies to deepen risk knowledge and improve long-term resilience, aligning with international frameworks for disaster preparedness and climate adaptation. This engagement follows high-level discussions held in August 2025, reaffirming Belize's commitment to international cooperation in disaster risk management and sustainable growth. The meeting concluded with a mutual agreement to maintain ongoing communication and collaboration under the UN Country Work Program, ensuring Belize remains at the forefront of addressing climate-related hazards, technological threats, and other emerging challenges while pursuing sustainable development goals. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, February 19th here on CTV3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.